great thing about cars is that you can drive something fun and enjoy it every day without spending a fortune. And let's be real, $15,000 is not a spare change. And for many people, it's a significant investment. And the good news, you can still get a reliable and fun to drive vehicle within this budget. And the best part, it doesn't matter how much your car costs, as long as it makes you smile every time you're behind the wheel. Plus, any true car enthusiast is going to appreciate any car on this list. And every single one of them is affordable to maintain, has good reliability ratings, so you don't have to worry about them turning into money pits. It's savvy wheels, let's dive in. Miata is always the answer. You probably heard this one before. And let's start with the most obvious, but probably the best pick on this list. The legendary MX-5 Miata. And not just any Miata, we're talking about the NC generation. Now, I know, it's often seen as the least popular Miata of all time, but this makes it an underdog. And who doesn't love an underdog? If Miata is going to be your daily driver, I recommend going for NC2 and NC3 versions. Unlike the NA and NB, they come with a retractable hardtop, which is better for safety and practicality. While the NC2 technically dropped a little bit of power from NC1 version to 167 horsepower, it gained a higher redline and more eager to rev engine, which is obviously cool. When it was launched in 2006, the NC Miata introduced a slightly more modern but larger design with the 2.0-liter engine. And sure, it added some weight, but it also added some refinement. And of course, some critics bash this car because they lack the ultra-light feel of the earlier models, but I think that's what makes this car a hidden gem. It's a perfect combination of daily usability and fun performance. So a lot of people would say, 167 horsepower? It's not a lot of performance, but what makes it fun to drive is the perfect balance. This car has a 50-50 weight distribution, it has rear-wheel drive, low center of gravity, it's so connected to the driver that every corner feels like the car is dancing with the road. And let's not forget, Miatas are known to be incredibly reliable. And the NC is no exception. The parts are affordable, it's very cheap to maintain, and with proper care, they can go easily well beyond 200,000 miles. Next up, we have a car for those who like to flex a little luxury, the Lexus IS 350 second generation. And under the hood, we're gonna find a 3.5-liter V6 engine that makes 306 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. And what's funny is that this engine is still in the new Lexus IS 350 from 2024. It makes it go from 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, which is very impressive. And with its sport-tuned suspension and rear-wheel drive layout, it's not only about luxury, it's also about a fun-to-drive nature. So where does this fun-to-drive nature come from? And the answer is simple. It's a combination of the eager-to-rev V6 engine and the balanced chassis. It strikes a fantastic balance of performance and everyday usability, so you can have your fun without spilling your coffee. And speaking of non-spilling things, inside the IS350, you'll find a high-quality interior with leather seats, great appointments, well-designed dashboard, and of course, the Mark Levinson sound system. And here's the best part. It's a Lexus. These things just build like tanks. This V6 engine is very reliable. It's been proved by the iteration of this engine, which is spread out over 20 years. Maintenance costs are lower than most luxury brands, thanks to Toyota's parts being available and pretty affordable. Alright, now let's talk about a trio that's pretty much a holy trinity of affordable sports cars, which is Toyota GT86, Subaru BRZ, and Scion FRS. These cars are like triplets raised in different households, same DNA, but slightly different personality. But at their core, they're all about one thing: fun driving. Here's the deal. Toyota and Subaru went out and tried to create something of a competitor to a Mazda MX-5 Miata that was focusing on just one thing: pure driving experience. No turbos, no crazy horsepower, just an affordable sports car. Now, all these cars have the same 2.0-liter boxer engine that has 200 horsepower and about 150 pound-feet of torque. All right, and I know what you're thinking. 200 horsepower? Seriously? This is not going to break any records. But this is not the point of these cars. Here's the trick. It's not about raw power. It's about balance. Just like with the Miata. They only weigh around 2,800 pounds, which gives them a great power to weight ratio, which actually makes them feel a lot faster than they actually are. And moreover, they are ridiculously fun around corners. They all can come with a 6-speed manual, the steering, it's razor sharp, the handling. Oh man, I think these cars just can read your mind, honestly. Basically, along with the Miata, these cars are a therapy session on wheels. And the best part? You can do it all under the speed limit. Inside, it's pretty minimalist, all the things you need, no crazy tech, and I think that's kind of a point of this car, since it's all about driving, so you don't want to be distracted. And again, parts are easily available. There's so much aftermarket stuff for these cars. Plus, the Boxer engine has proven to be very reliable, but please, don't drive these cars like a maniac every day, just on weekends. The next car on our list is a bit of a sleeper. It's the 4th generation Acura TL. If you like luxury with a bit of performance and reliability, this car is for you. Now, the Acura TL doesn't scream, "Look at me." It's very understated, and that's the point. And underneath this refined exterior is very good performance. And the performance comes out from 3.5 liter V6 engine, then pumps out 280 horsepower and 254 pound-feet of torque. So far, it sounds like an Acura TL is a very similar vehicle to the Lexus IS 350. And they are, but they're fundamentally different. The Acura TL comes as a front-wheel drive vehicle or an all-wheel drive vehicle, while the Lexus is on the rear-wheel drive platform. But don't underestimate Acura's famous super handling all-wheel drive system, which shifts power to the wheel that needs it the most, making the car glued to the road, and especially around the corners. And if we look at the interior of the Acura TL, it's also no slouch. It's packed with premium materials, very good tech, and the dashboard that was actually ahead of its time when it just came out. And since Acura is owned by Honda, we know that it's gonna be very reliable. Especially these 3.5 and 3.7 liter V6 engines are proven to be very reliable long term. The only thing you should be concerned about when you are searching for an Acura TL with the mark around 100,000 miles is the timing belt. It should be replaced around this time, and if you're searching for one of these, make sure it's replaced or be ready to spend some money on replacing it once you get it. So far, we've only talked about Japanese cars, since we wanted to populate this list with cars that are actually affordable to own and maintain. And all of these cars are fantastic, there's no doubt, but it's time to switch gears. Or should I say, shift into something more muscular. Because up next, we're heading to land of burgers, fries, questionable healthcare system, and big horsepower. Yep, I'm talking about American muscle. Now, everyone knows the beastie V8 Mustang, but today we're going to be talking about the V6 version of this car from 2011 to 2014. Isn't that the Mustang's little brother that nobody wants to play with? Just think about it. It has a 3.7 liter V6 engine that puts out 305 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. And in fact, it is more power than the V8 engines from the Mustangs just a few years earlier. And the V6 is much cheaper on gas than the V8 version of the Mustang, which makes it more practical and a better candidate for a daily driver. Inside the Mustang, you'll usually find the retro motoring feel. It's kind of a throwback, but then it gives you all the comfort and tech that you expect from the car from its era, so it's pretty good. And one of the surprising factors of the Mustang is the maintenance and reliability. Ford built these things tough, and with basic maintenance, they should last. Parts are easily available, and repairs should not be expensive. We are wrapping up this list with another American legend, the car that lets everyone know you've arrived, but you're probably late because you've taken the long route. For just $15,000, this is the most serious performance and a whole lot of style you can get with the C5 Corvette. In the world of affordable high-end sports cars, it's an absolute bargain. I mean, where else you can find a 5.7-liter V8 engine with 350 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque? Seriously. And this beauty can go from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, which, let's be honest, it's plenty fast. But don't think that this car is only about straight line speed. It's much more than that. It has a nearly perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It's a rear-wheel drive chassis, which means it can handle the twisties much better than any person can expect. And the interior of the C5 Corvette, let's just say it's all about the driver. But the seats are actually good. They are supportive enough to hold you while you're going around corners, and they actually are very comfortable for long road trips, which is surprising. So what about reliability? I know the sports car with the V8 sounds like it's a money pit, but actually the C5 Corvettes are pretty solid. That LS1 engine is actually bulletproof, and if you don't do anything crazy like skipping oil changes, this car will actually last. And thanks to this car's simplicity, you can easily find the parts for this car, and Chevy's aftermarket support is awesome. And there you have it. 6 fun and reliable cars that you can snag for just $15,000. From playful and nimble Miata to a crazy sports car V8 Corvette, these cars prove that you don't need to break the bank to have some fun on the road. So if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please let me know which car would you choose for $15,000. And I know that I definitely missed some good picks in this segment, so feel free and please let me know in the comments below which cars also deserve to be on this list. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos, and as always, stay savvy, and I'll see you on the next ride.